Okay, so this spring I have plans to build another bubbling concrete water feature, but this time in front of my dad's automotive shop, where we're planning on doing some other business ventures. But rather than wait a whole season to create one video that features the project, I'm gonna do a couple of videos that cover various steps of that project. And the first step to that project is to pour the concrete in my molds so that it has time to dry, because that may take up to 6 weeks. Then when the whole project is done, you might get a video that covers start to finish in 10 minutes, but we're taking this one step at a time. I think I'm gonna go with about 5 or 6 inches thick on the concrete, so I need my boards to be about 5 or 6 inches. I'm gonna see what options they have. I'm gonna have you stand over here. They pointed at me. Kiddo. I'm gonna do like that square one, and I'm gonna lay out a flat piece of plywood, and I'm gonna make my mold the shape I want for this fountain, and then I'm gonna pour the concrete in it. So for this one, I'm planning on doing 3 pillars, but not all 3 pillars will be the same shape, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna do some measuring and cutting to get these to the shape I want for my mold. Okay, so that part of this project is pretty self-explanatory. Some things of note with this project: because some of these are going to be top heavy and one-sided, I am going to stick rebar through the bottom of the mold and pour that into the concrete and all throughout to give it some structural integrity. And I'm also planning on welding these to a metal base that I will then paint or something, because I want these to have a good solid platform that they can sit on and self-balance, so that when I'm installing them they don't just tip over easily. So the rebar is going to poke out through the bottom, specifically so that I can weld them to the floor. Secondly, I'm only putting water through 2 of them, just because I think it'll be an interesting contrast of a dry pillar beside the 2 ones that have water flowing, and it'll look unique. The piping itself, one thing I learned by accident on a previous project, I'm going to repeat today on purpose. One of these I made, you could see the pipe on the top of the concrete, and I didn't like it. It looked so fake, and you could just see the little white pipe sticking out the top, even through the water flow, and like you're looking down on it and you see plastic. And I didn't like that look. But on another one, coincidentally, because it had a 90-degree angle in it, I was able to just pull that pipe out. And so the pipe rested like 3 inches below the top of the fountain. And so when you looked down on it, you couldn't see any plastic. You just saw concrete. So I'm going to repeat that on this one. I don't have 90-degree angles coming out the top, so I'm just going to put in a coupler 3 inches from the top of the fountain in the mold, so that once the concrete dries and I take the mold off, I can take this top pipe and pull it out, and then you won't see plastic at the top of the fountain. I had to buy a drill bit. So on this one, because I want the water to disperse across the top and it's coming up on one side, I put this piece of styrofoam tape in here to create a rough trough, so that the water, when it comes up, can hopefully fill that trough and flow out and pour off the end. All right, so that mortar took way longer than I was expecting because I was just mixing it in a 3-gallon bucket with a shovel and a trowel. But I got it all in, and I think that's about as smooth as I'm gonna get it. I have to clean up my mess here. It looks like I went through 6.5 bags of mortar, 60-pound bags of mortar, roughly 6 or 7 bags. I'm gonna put some plastic over these to keep the moisture in because I don't want them to dry out too fast. Once these dry over the next couple of weeks, we will be back here to start digging a hole up front and get these set up in place to run water through them. But that's the end of this video, so subscribe and stay tuned for the next one. Peace.